What, does it run?
Yeah.
I thought we were pushing it.
How are you going to push this?
Hasn't it got a hole in the block?
No, just a hole in a piston.
And it still runs?
Yeah. Loves it. Use it to tow things around. Just ran over some shit. It's got a turbo timer. Runs perfect.
Sounds pretty good.
Sounds like a Cummins. It won't make it up the driveway though. You know how they call TD42 kettles?
Yeah.
They call these things grenades, and this one's pin's already been pulled. Welcome back to the Skid Factory, where today it is the start of a new project day, and everybody loves that. We've gotten rid of the old and we've chugged in with the new. This is my car. It's a 2005 GU-4 Nissan Patrol. We've previously done a Patrol on the channel, which was also my car. It was an older version that we converted from a 6-cylinder petrol to a 6-cylinder diesel. We've just re-uploaded that onto Facebook Watch if you want to go and have a look at that. It's probably pretty obvious, but I actually like Patrols. They are very well built, super strong chassis, coil spring suspension all around, big diffs. They pretty much do everything as an all-rounder really well. They're a really good off-road, even hard off-road. They tow well. They actually drive pretty nice day to day, like it's quite a comfortable car to drive around in. Heaps of space on the inside. The only problem is they don't have many engines that are actually any good. There's not many options fitted to them. The engines are okay, but they're either got a high failure rate, they overheat, or they're petrol and they use tons of fuel. Probably the best engine that they actually factory fitted to them, in my opinion, would be the TB48 petrol, because it doesn't break ever, has plenty of power, but it also uses heaps of fuel, which is not great when you're trying to tow stuff around long distances in Australia, because fuel costs a lot. The engine fitted to this car is a ZD30 Nissan 4-cylinder diesel. It's a 3-litre engine.
So they're not a bad engine anyway, are they? They're good.
They aren't a bad engine. They do perform pretty well for their size. They are too small for this car though, like it's not enough power. So it's kind of working hard its whole life. And the main failure point with them is to do with the EGR system clogging up certain ports in the engine, which causes low airflow through those ports, and hence high combustion temperatures, and burns pistons out, which is what's happened to this. So tons of these dead, tons of Patrol bodies with dead engines in them, which is why engine swaps are so popular in them. So swap wise, there's so many engines that people have fitted to them. LS is really popular, as it is in most cars. Barra's becoming more popular. I've done Duramax, like the real Duramax, the 6.6 litre turbo diesel V8 with Allison trans. I've done that to a previous Patrol that I owned.
We did that.
Actually, it was probably when Woody was a little kid, he helped me on that build.
That's probably the first car we probably built together.
Probably was. It was a fair while ago. That was a good... That turned out really nice, that car. It's so much power, but it was a pretty difficult conversion as far as... It was pretty complex, a lot of adaptation stuff going on. So I don't think it's the best engine to fit to it in hindsight, although it does drive really nice. So it's still going today. Powerhouse, like it's heaps of engine for the size of the car, unlike this. Having done multiple engine swaps and also having sampled the other ones that I hadn't done, like a lot of the petrol stuff, there was sort of one big one that was missing that I hadn't done before, and that was the 6BT Cummins. It started to get quite popular a couple of years ago due to the apparent simplicity of the swap. It's a straight 6. It's a very basic engine, the early ones are, without electronic diesel injection. So people started making adapter plates and that sort of thing for them. So I became interested in it, as you do, and I actually purchased this car after the sale of the previous red one that we did on the show. And it's just sat there for about 3 years, I think. It's covered in mould and crap and just been started and moved every now and then. While we were trying to get our ducks in a row, you thought I was going to say something else, didn't you? Which we have. So here it is. This car is a manual vehicle. It's got a 5-speed manual in it. The reason why I specifically chose to buy a manual transmission car is because the tow rating is different from an auto to a manual, which makes no sense because the car's exactly the same. It's probably to do with transmission life from the manufacturer, but you can't change the tow rating on the vehicle easily, so it's better to just buy a manual car so you don't have to worry about it. It's 1,000 kilograms different, so it's significant. So we're going to put a big engine that can tow lots of stuff in it. However, the manual is not going to stay in there. We are going to change it to an automatic transmission because those manuals can only handle so much power, and the Cummins can make way more than what they can handle. So I sort of tossed up whether to keep it or not and decided that we didn't really want to limit ourselves by the transmission. So automatic it is. Which brings me to the overall plan. Obviously you've got to have a plan when you're building a vehicle. These things are excellent off-roaders, excellent tow cars, excellent tours, we call them in Australia. So, you know, travelling off into the never to have a look around, check out Ayers Rock, check out the Cape, that sort of thing. So that's what I'm wanting to build. I've done a bit of travelling over the years and really got the bug for it. I love going to places in the middle of nowhere and checking them out. So the overall plan is to make a good tourer that can also tow cars down to the Hoff, can take us to Fraser Island, can go camping with the motorbikes, all that stuff. So we're going to gut it, get all the gear and put it all back together again, and hopefully it'll turn out the way we want it.
Can we still go through KF drive-through?
We better get a height check on KF drive-through to make sure we don't make it higher than that.
Zing on.
Big projects don't do themselves, so we're going to have to get started on it. We're going to rip the body off, we're going to roll the chassis out, remove the engine and transmission. Sebby's going to celastic up the piston and put it on Marketplace. And then we're going to sort through all the parts I've collected over the last couple of years and start putting them together, ready to go in. Let's do it. The big one. What are these things for? Maybe there is a hole in the block after all.
Now it's at a better height for your short ass.
Cool story, backwards knees, kid.
Removing the body from the chassis seems daunting at first, but it's designed to be removed fairly easily, as this is how the car is built in the factory.
Do you need an elaborate yet surprisingly ineffective and not very space conscious power steering cooler? Well, Nissan's got one for you. 1-800-BRACKETS.
You're going to have the fastest Cummins powered, what colour is this? Platinum.
Platinum?
Previously ZD30
It's metallic
with
brown.
mud flaps and sports pack ST model Nissan Patrol
Do you really,
in the world.
do we really do a Cummins conversion to have the most powerful something?
Yeah. Quarter miles, bro. Where are those convos from the TD? Kloppy's got them, actually.
It's got 'em there. Oh, look how clean it is underneath.
I told you it works.
It's not a mozzie coil, like it's just because this goes rusty and, but it's not.
Maybe that's the energy polarizer.
I don't know. I think the energy polarizer's got more technical merit than this.
So shifter and that's it?
Put the wheels back on and go down and keep looking because there's bound to be something else.
That's what the hoist is for.
It'll make twanging noises when we don't.
The tester of.
Will it either make twanging noises or it'll tip the whole thing over upside down? So
It's like an engine crane, special tool for testing how strong that automatic transmission cooler line is.
true that. Oh, there's these little breather things here too.
I've already got them.
From above.
Yep. What is this?
They should be right to stay there, eh?
Yeah.
Just put that one in third or whatever. It'll be right. Gonna go up and inside that, I reckon.
Body mounts are off. Everything's disconnected,
Hopefully.
we think. Now Alan's going to go up on the hoist and I'm going to yell at him when I find that one thing that we didn't do. If there's not, I think we're good.
It should just go up.
Alright.
But you never know.
Where's that torch gone actually? You go up and I'll yell at you. Keep coming. Keep coming. Wait. Okay, so we've got, there's like a bar at the back here.
Oh yeah, there's a crash into something at 300 miles an hour bar there.
A what bar?
It's to stop the body flying off the chassis.
Oh, don't go back down. What was that? Hey.
That's right. Take two.
Okay. Far away. Wait. You know how that clutch wasn't undone? Okay, you're good now.
I told you.
Yeah. So far, so good. Keep going.
Body's off. Relatively easy job when you've got a hoist. Obviously, it's not going to be for everyone doing this sort of job, but for us, it's a lot easier to pull that off and unload the engine and everything off the chassis. But mainly it's just so that we can film it properly, because you just can't see anything underneath a Patrol. You can barely stand underneath them and reach up to get at stuff because there's diffs hanging around and that sort of thing. So a lot of the reason we're doing it this way is just to make it easy for you guys to see what we're up to.
I did forget a couple of things.
As always, you always forget something when you try and pull something out. In this case, it wasn't a hose, it was a bracket that I'm going to blame Woody. He assumed that was actually connected to the chassis. But it wasn't, and the spot welds weren't as strong as the hose, so it's good to know.
What was that thing at the back for? That bracket thing?
There's that U-shaped bracket there. That's actually like a thing to stop the body continuing on if you have a high-speed collision, just to rest the body so it doesn't shear off the mounts and keep going.
Other cars have like cables and stuff.
I think every chassis, well, at least in Australia they do, has that. Some cars have a cable, like a big braided thing, but we forgot about that, and obviously it wasn't going anywhere. So all good. It's off.
Big chassis,
it's strong. A big dusty old thing. It was a horse float hauler previously. Probably seen a few dirt roads in its time, so there's schmutz everywhere, just dust and dirt and stuff. But we don't really have rust problems in Australia unless you're a demon when you go up the beach and don't clean your car. So it's all pretty good in that regard.
You've got to have electronic rust fitted, bro.
Yeah, it must have been because it had that electronic rust protection, because that's so good.
So what happens now? Where are we up to? It's got to come out.
We've got to obviously pull this drive line off. The transfer case is remaining. That will get removed off the back of the transmission and fitted to the Hughes 4L80 transmission via an adapter plate.
Which has been sitting... How long has that box been in the corner for?
It's been here for quite a while. This job has been put off many times for various reasons, and time catches up on you. So it's well and truly overdue for getting done. You can see those big Menke brackets back there that are foolishly welded straight to the chassis. That was for a gas system that the car had.
I thought you weren't going to mention that.
It's horrific. Don't put gas on a diesel. It's a bad idea.
So can we pull this engine out now or not?
We can, except I've got to make a lifting jib for the forklift. I bought a forklift so we could do this job because the Cummins weighs about 500 kilos, and it'll probably be, it'd have to be 750 all up with the transfer case. So we're going to use the forklift and lifting jib to lift things in and out so we don't kill ourselves.
You just wanted a forklift.
And I also wanted a forklift.
And what about our suspension stuff?
Yeah, I've ordered a bunch of suspension stuff through Supercheap, so we've got to go pick that up. It's again, it's been sitting at Supercheap for a little while because I forgot that it was there and made them store it for me instead of doing it myself. So I got Dobinson's gear, which is pretty much one of the suspension leaders for Australian cars. I'm not sure whether they're overseas or not, but they do obviously lift kits and good quality shocks. I'm pretty sure they're a remote reservoir. I'm hoping anyway. So yeah, we're gonna go pick that up, and I've got some like accessory stuff like roof racks and that sort of stuff there as well. So we'll head in there and grab that gear. I'll weld up that lifting jib, and then when are we going to pull the engine out?
Well, can we just unbox the Cummins too first?
I've already seen it.
Yeah, but we haven't unboxed it yet.
You can't unbox it. You got to uncrate it, which means
Yeah.
we've got to get the saber saw out because it's been welded in there.
Let's go to Super Cheap, come back, lay it out, and unbox the engine, and then go to Canada.
Go to Canada. Yeah,
Go back in time.
That'd be pretty cool, actually. Wouldn't mind a Molson's.
Yeah, keen?
Okay.
All right.
Do it. Do you reckon they might have some stuff for you to clean the inside of that car?
What are you talking about? It is clean.
Such schmutz on the back.
That's two-stroke oil.
That goes in the bike, not on the tailgate. Hey mate,
Hey, how you going?
got some suspension and stuff for me?
Yes, you're here to get it. That's
Yeah,
wicked.
Sweet.
Cool.
Thanks. You got any money?
I'm gonna get that for you for Christmas.
You need anything while we're here, bruh?
I want to get a...
Chainsaw sharpener? Aren't you getting a still for your birthday?
No, I want to. I want a mini boss. One of those extendo 3/8 ratchets.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, with the
That's all I want.
like the airline thing that
Yep.
extends on. Yeah, cool.
That one. So clean.
Stinks. Let's go, Chooch. Better than the Tirana, bro.
Biggest skid you've ever done in the shed.
We're dealing with a 15-year-old vehicle here, so it's going to be pretty worn out. We're also putting a big engine and trans in it, so it's probably going to be touching the ground if we don't address the suspension side of things. We got a bunch of Dobinson's gear here. I pretty much just chatted to the guys, told them what I was doing, told them what the weights of everything were and what my use of the vehicle was, and they came up with a plan. So we got lifted springs that are weighted to suit the engine weight and the transmission. Got remote res shocks to suit. We've got bushes and stuff to correct any changes that need to be corrected from lifting it. We've got hydraulic bump stops, and I think there's a whole bunch of other things in there somewhere.
All those other things.
All the things.
What about this roller Titan tray?
This is a roof tray, so I can put stuff on the roof when I go bush.
It's for the swags.
For the swags, that's it.
Yep.
And a bunch of mounting stuff. Ugh! Some heavy duty shit there.
Speaking of heavy duty shit,
Yeah. Hughes.
this has been here for also 2 years.
It's been pretty hard not to open this box up. It's only been here for about not quite a year, but a fair while. So this is a 4L80 built specifically by Hughes to bolt up to the engine. It's got a specific converter for low engine speed, high torque. Got an adapter plate to go onto the engine as well. A control unit, because it's an electronic auto. And a bunch of other little bits and pieces to suit. Next to Woody, we have engine mounting gear.
I just thought you wanted to talk about turbos.
Oh well, yeah, that's not an engine mount, but it's on the same table. This stuff is from Custom Engineering and Mechanical, which is in Victoria. Roland, who owns the business, is a guru of Cummins and conversions, and I think he does like off-road racing, axles, fabrication, all that sort of stuff. So he's heavily into the scene of converting Cummins into everything. So he's supplied stuff for the 4L80 to go onto the transfer, got engine mounting stuff, weld-ons to go onto the chassis, all that sort of stuff. And he also talked me into a massive turbo, which is massiver than I thought it was going to be.
Massiver, word of the day.
That is the word of the day. That's a HX40 hybrid of some description with billet. And it's all to go on this thing.
The piste de resistance. Ho-ho.
You know what it is?
That's a ISB Cummins 24 valve whole set turbo diesel P-Pump. 12
That's
valve.
all of those words, but not in that order. So it's actually a 6BT P-Pump engine with a 24 valve head and pistons in it. We started with a couple of engines and made a hybrid. That's just the turbo that came. That's a HX35 that came with the 24 valve. Obviously, it'll get replaced by that.
So where did this come from, Alan?
This came from Maple Leaf Land and Molson's Lager, Canada. A couple of years ago, we went to Canada to see Rich, Aaron, and Stefan Blackjack from DeBoss Garage, who are Cummins guys. He claimed that he wasn't a Cummins guy, but he seemed like he knew a lot more about it than anyone else.
I'd call him just like a general tractor guy.
Tractor guy.
Farm guy.
Yes.
Probably 2 years to like the week, Alan.
It probably is actually, yeah. So it's been a bit of a slow boil, this thing. Like obviously this was conceived a lot longer ago than that. Must be getting into the 3 year mark.
Almost, yeah.
So obviously there's going to be videos on building this engine. We built it out of 2 engines. It was all done in Canada, in Rich's shed. So the catch is, if you want to watch it, some of it you're going to have to watch on Rich's channel.
You're not going to have to give them an option. You have to go click on DeBoss Garage and watch.
This is a collab.
Collab.
And you know what collabs are? That means we're collaborating, so you've got to watch it on the other guy's channel as well.
So jump over to DeBoss, where Rich goes back in time.
Every time you say go back in time, I want to do that Wayne's World thing where they go, which is a Scooby-Doo reference, I think.
Righto.
Anyway, I digress.
Okay, so...
so next piece of the puzzle episode-wise is going to be on DeBoss Garage. So click the link.
Yep. That one there.
Go and have a look there, and then next week we'll have our bit of it.
Yep.
And eventually we'll put it into that chassis, and then eventually we'll put the body back on.
There we go.
Sound
How
good?
good's this? High five. Yeah.
That's all. Thanks for watching. See you next week.
That time with old Wonky when I had that car and went all the way up on the hoist and hit the limit switch and it was riding the locks and I got stuck.
I prefer to block out old Wonky from my life.
And I came up to the house, it was like 9 p.m. and you were in your
No,
pajamas.
it's when you broke the hoist, you mean? That's the
That's
way I remember it.
And that time, yeah.
Yeah.
It just broke when I was using it.
Don't blame Wonky for breaking it. That was a Woody thing. Do you tow a horse plate with...
Hang on, do that again, then I'll zoom in your face. Look down at it and then...
Do you tow a horse plate? Do you tow a horse float with your mid-2000s Patrol? Do you not have this bull bar? You need it.
So the way this works is you're going to have to click up here, follow DeBoss Garage, watch their videos, then you're going to have to jump back over to us to watch their videos, then back to DeBoss and watch their videos. If you want to know more about this shitbox HJ Kingswood, we've done a video on one of them. It's exactly the same thing, but it's a sedan, not a ute. Click on that video, click down here to buy some merchandise, and click down here to subscribe to us. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next week. We're in Canada next week. 2 years ago.
Sweet.
All right. See you then.